just take the mindset right? So, like I was saying in the previous call, I'm kind of stalling for that people to join. Right. Okay. So let's continue. I'm recording now. So, like I was saying, these are the things in which you need to put in place. Right. You have to understand that drawdown is actually part of trading. It's unavoidable, and every trader encounters this, whether they agree or not. Right. So one of the ways that you know, so one of the ways you actually know is scammer, right, is that he's always posting winning trade. That one of the ways you know is scammer. Like all these gurus. One way is not a fake trader that's always posting wins. Like it doesn't ever, in fact, okay, even if you don't post your win, at least tell us that you took a loss. But then they don't ever say they took a loss. They always we made this profit. They don't ever show a losing trade. Can I, even if they say they can't say I took a loss. Right, that's how you know actually it's scammer. They don't ever accept they took a loss. They never accept that okay, I took a loss on this trade, or I had a losing month, or I had a losing week. They never accept it. Or the market they never ask because it doesn't do good for business. Right? You lose good when you're having a high win rate. Right? And then you can do all things to get high win rate. I have seen signals like people who somebody will have mine and pay for signal, and then you'll be given a trade that looks like this. And you know, the reason why people fall for all these things is because people don't want to take responsibility for their actions or for anything that concerns them. People want to always blame someone. So they don't, you know, one of the most difficult things is to take responsibility for your actions. So if it's, how can someone pay for a signal and the stop loss is looking like this? Like stop loss is like times 3 of your profits, and people are paying for the signal. You see people paying for this kind of signal. You take a trade, you see they take profit like 1, and the SL is times 2, and people are paying every month for this kind of signals. People are paying every month, paying every single month for this, because why? They don't take responsibility for their actions. They want someone to tell them enter now, sell now, buy now. That's what they want. They don't want to just use their own head and trade. They want someone to be calling trades for them. That's why they fall pre for all these scammers. So for you to be able to handle that effectively, while for you to handle data effectively, you have to learn how to you have to learn how to manage drawdown, because managing drawdown is one of the skills that almost all top traders have. Right? If you want to be among the top traders, you have to learn how to manage drawdown, because something that happens all the time. So your goal is not to avoid drawdown, your goal is to manage it. Right? So you have to remove your focus from avoiding a loss to focus on managing the loss. Right? That's how I posted on Monday last week. This is a new week. I'm going to take losses, probably, but I'll still end profitable, because so I'm focused on what's managing the losses. So you have to focus on managing losses and not necessarily making profit. I think it's a mistake from his side. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of showing videos. I don't know. I think it's a mistake from his end. Let me see. Okay. I think it's okay now. All right. So, like I was saying, that is the issue with so many traders. Right? They're trying to avoid. Um, wow. Trading bots. I don't even talk about trading bots, because that one, if I want to talk about trading bots today, that one will take us another day. Because see, let us let's be real with ourselves, right? Let's be real with ourselves. If like now I had a bot, if me now I have a bot, right, that is giving me maybe let's say my boss is giving me $1,000 every month, right? Like it's giving me $1K every month. Believe me, I won't even tell anybody. Like I won't tell anybody, right? I won't tell anybody. That is the truth. If I had a Jordan, if I had a boss that give that kind of profit, I won't tell anybody. Like serious, I won't tell anybody. I will just quietly trade it. Who is Adam Martins? I start in there. So the chances are I won't tell anybody if I had a drawdown. Right? I won't tell anybody. Like if I had a bot that gives this, I won't tell anybody. I'll just be silently making my money. That is the truth. If I had a bot that is very profitable, I won't tell anybody. I won't even sell it. I'll just be trading private and making my money myself. Let me remove this guy. It's distracting me. Alright, let me kick this person out. It's really, really distracting me. Remove. All right. Okay. So, like I was saying, Once, if I had a boss that makes kind of money, I'll probably not tell anybody about it. I'll always be making money privately. So I always ask the question, why do people sell boss if it's profitable? Like if I had a product that's profitable, I won't sell it. So honestly, I'm going to just quietly make my money, like quietly making money. I won't even tell anybody what I'm doing for a living. I'll just be quietly withdrawing, buying cars, just withdrawing. Honestly, that's what I'm going to do. So I don't really believe in boss. I just believe that all these things are just things that make profit for maybe 1 month, and then I don't really believe in all those things, right? So now the reason why many people, like I was saying before I got started, the reason why many people don't um are not able to become professional traders, are not able to see that consistency because they want someone to be the one to take responsibility for them. So that they fall prey to all these scammers that like I used to see this one with my own eyes. And you guys know the person. I don't this is a recorded call, so I won't mention the person's name. Right, because it's a recorded call. So you guys know the person, right? He always buys Lambo every time. You already know him. You will see him posting kind of signal, like he will post so that the stop loss is this big, and then the TP is very, very little. And you see people paying for a signal every month, paying as much as 50K every month for a signals. The reason they do this is because they are avoiding this keyword, and this keyword is what? Responsibility. They want to take responsibility. This is what they're just avoiding. That's why you fall prey to these things, right? Responsibility. This is what they're just avoiding. Responsibility. They're avoiding, that's why they fall prey to all this, right? They're avoiding responsibility. So that is it. So if for you to be able to effectively manage your data, you have to learn to take responsibility because that is one of the first steps to actually being able to manage data. You have to take responsibility for your trading, knowing that you're the only one that has the power to bring you out of your data, right? You're the one that has the power to bring yourself out of the data you are, right? So you have to take responsibility for your trading, not looking for who will tell you when to enter a trade, looking for who will confirm your analysis. All those things it really make you to be an irresponsible trader. And when you're irresponsible, you can't be consistently profitable, right? You cannot be, right? Even from the days that I started against manual constant, I can't remember one day that I was copying my mentor signals or I was asking him, sir, like what do you think about this? Should I take it? Should I not take it? I don't. Those things will make you to not be able to make to be profitable, right? So you have to learn to um um take responsibility for your own trades, right? So now, how do you manage drawdown, right? How do you manage drawdown? How do you manage it, right? Like I always say, the first thing you have to do, you have to take was responsibility, right? Responsibility. You have to be responsible. Responsible, right? So that's spell it. So you have to be responsible because when you take responsibility, it's kinds of um um I don't know how to put it. When you take responsibility for your trading, it kind of puts a kind of eagerness, or let's say a kind of how will I put that word now? Okay, you're not depending on your abilities. It kind of develops your confidence, right? So when you take responsibility for your trading, it develops a kind of confidence in your abilities because now you know that no one is coming to save you, right? So you're not focused on doing what um doing things yourself, right? I was able to recover my data. Not, I didn't copy anybody's signal. I just look at the market myself, took my trades myself, and I was able to come out the data. There are even accounts that have even passed that came from 4% data. Like accounts that have passed that came from 4% to passing it like in less than a month. I was like 4%. I went from 4%, reversed time, and went to set towards the profit targets. So you have to be responsible. When you're responsible, it begins to grow confidence. Now, see something. Now let's just do this analysis. Now, why did this expire now? Right. Let's do this analogy now. Now, trader A now wants to take a trade first. He will ask the whole community about his trade, right? Trader A now he wants to take a trade now. Trader A, Trader A wants to take a trade now. He will go and show his mentor. He will show like 5 people. He will post on Twitter and ask everybody what they think about the trade, right? Now, when he does that, right, what he's doing, he's depriving himself of confidence in taking his own trades, right? If someone says it's a wrong trade, he would likely not take it. But now imagine trader B now, trader B, trader B sees an opportunity now, and he takes his trade on his account, and it ends a loss or a win. That's regardless of the total outcome, trader B will have what? A better confidence over the long period of time. He will have confidence in himself because he believes he has the potential to make winning trades on his own, and he has the potential to mitigate losses on his own. So that is why in my own academy, I kind of made that rule that we don't tell people when to take trades. That one of the time I did it, that we don't tell you when to take a trade because we want to be responsible. Not that you're looking because when you're doing these things on your own, it creates confidence. So responsibility is directly what related to confidence, right? It has a direct correlation with us confidence, and confidence determines profitability, right? And then confidence always leads towards profitability. Like those ones I know. So when you're responsible, right, it develops confidence, and then confidence in turn leads to being profitable. Those ones I'm very very sure I know for a fact. There is no profitable trader that is not confident in himself, and he cannot be confident when you're not responsible, right? You're not responsible for your actions. You want someone to be you're always telling you what to do, right? So you have to that is the first thing you have to do. You have to be responsible. Be responsible for your actions. Be responsible for your equity. Make profit by yourself. Take losses by yourself. Do all those things by yourself. It's kind of develop those skills in you. And now the next thing that you have to do when you want to manage your data is that you have to do what set rules, right? This is not a technical part, right? This is technical part. So for me, I believe that managing data is what I think is I think is probably 70% psychology. So I believe managing data is most of and then 30% 30% trading, right? Let's say 30% strategy. So I believe that money done is kind of more of psychology. You have to really, really put some things in place, right? You have to really, really put some things in place. You have to put some things in place, right? I don't know where these boss guys are coming from. I don't know where they're really coming from to disturb my group. All right. Let me enable waiting room now. All right. So now, okay. So that is it. So you have to put all those things in place, and then you find it easier to make your recovery out of that. So I don't want this call to exceed this last 40 minutes, right? So it's more of 70% so it's more of 70% psychology and then 30% strategy. I don't know where these bots guys are coming from to be disturbing my call. So we have a lot of bots, right? So I've removed the bot. I've kind of enabled the waiting room so that they cannot enter. Right. So the waiting room is enabled. I mean, someone can down last approve. Right. Good. So we can continue. So that is so you have to set rules. Now, what are the rules I set when I'm trying to come out of the data? Right. One of the rules I put in place was now let me say something. Let me say something. There are different okay, let us talk about the risk aspects. So now, one thing many people do that when you're trying to recover drawdown, all right, so many people always like if you are in a drawdown, reduce your risk, right? But I'm not really in favor of that because there's a way that you reduce your risk, right? You make your drawdown become longer than it should be. Right? Assume that maybe you are risking 1%, right? So maybe you used to risk 1% per trade, right? And then you now encounter a drawdown. Maybe you're using 1% per trade, and then you now encounter a drawdown. Maybe you now drop to maybe 0.25, right? You see that it will take a longer time, right? It will take a much longer time to come out of this drawdown because of what your risk, right? So whenever you're in drawdown, you might want to reduce your risk, but don't reduce in such a way that it will like it will be almost impossible to come out of drawdown in a particular time frame. Let's assume that maybe you now reduce to maybe 0.2% out of 1%. It's very, very low. And it take a longer time to come out of drawdown. And I don't know how long you can handle it. So my own personal opinion is that if you're reducing your risk in drawdown, make it maybe just maybe half is okay. 0.5 is okay. You must not take it down, 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 down to a level where it's not taking 1 year to imagine, okay, let's assume that maybe you take as long as maybe you take a 5% loss, like you take 5% loss, right? 5% drawdown now. And you're now risking 0.25%. How many trades will you take to come out of this drawdown? Like how many trades will you take to come out of this DD? How are you going to do it? Honestly, this used to take like 2-3 months to use this little risk, especially if you don't hold this for long. How are you going to use 8.5 to come out of 5% in a short time period? So I believe that even if you must cut your risk, my opinion is that it should not be something that will be too difficult. Like it take too much time to come out of, especially on this funded account, right? So when it's not this funded account, right, you should not be cutting your risk in such a way that it should not be too long. Because the longer you stay in Jordan, the more you give up hope. Like the longer you stay in Jordan, the more you lose hope in that account. Imagine being in Jordan for like 4 months. You likely begin to lose hope in that account that you ever come out of it. So you don't want to be in Jordan for too long. I don't also be in a hurry. So you have to put a balance, right? You're not in a hurry to come out. You're not in a hurry, right? You're not in a hurry, and you're not also doing what? You're not also what? Staying too long in your drawdown, right? So you're not staying too long, and you're not in the drawdown, right? So you're not staying too long, you're not in the drawdown. So I one of the ways that right. So you're not in a drawdown, and you're not staying too long either. So you're not staying too long, and you're not in the drawdown either, right? Right. So you have to cut your risk in a way that you're not too much in a drawdown, right? So that's one of the things that I believe that you should do. So you should cut down your risk if you need to, but it shouldn't be something that you make it to stay too long, because the more you stay long in drawdown, the more you give up hope on possibility of coming out, and then you don't also have to be in a hurry, right? Don't be in a hurry, because most times when you're in a hurry, you'll be tempted to over risk. There are times in which I've done this in my early days of trading, and maybe let's say I'm maybe 4% down, right? And 4% down, right? I would not be like, this thing is too much. Let me just risk 2% and then do 1:2. Me that was risking 0.5%. I'm like, let me just risk 2% and just do. Sometimes even be like, okay, let me just risk 4% and just do 1:1. So this thought usually comes to mind, right? It comes to mind. Like, let me just risk big and just one small trade, just come out of this. So those things are things that unprofessional traders do. So the professional approach is that you're not increasing your risk. On no accounts should you increase risk when you're trying to come out of a drawdown. You're not increasing risk for any reason. Instead, you should reduce it. And when you're reducing, not reducing to something that will make it to stay too long, right? So something that is maybe moderate, right? Something maybe 0.4, 0.5, or maybe if maybe your original risk was maybe your original risk was 0.5, you can maybe reduce to 0.25 or 0.3. If maybe your risk was 0.5 originally, that's okay. Let me drop to maybe 0.25. So you should not be taking it too low, right? You shouldn't be taking the reduction to be too low, right? Something that won't take so much time and as well would not, put it. So you have to make sure that you draw a fine line between being in a hurry and staying too long, right? So this is what many people do. Many people when they're in fact, I know a lady in my mentorship. She's very, very calm, like she's very, very disciplined, right? But once she takes 2, 3, 4, 5 trades, next thing she begin to over leverage, right? Someone that was risking normal, like normally she used to risk maybe 0.5. Like on a normal basis, she risks like maybe 0.5. Once she take a loss, next thing she need to risk like 1% because she want to quickly come out of it. So whenever you're doing certain things, ask yourself, this thing I'm doing, is this how professional traders act? Is this a professional approach? Increasing my risk when I'm in loss, is that professional? And when you start to ask all these questions, say that you're going to answer this question by yourself. There are things that you don't need able to ask. You like you don't need anybody advice on certain questions. Increasing my risk in loss, is that a professional approach? So that is it. So you have to be very, very mindful of the way you approach drawdown. So increasing risk is a no-no, right? On no account should you increase risk when you are in a drawdown. On no account should you increase risk when you are in a drawdown. On no account should you increase risk, right? Should you increase risk for any reason? All right. Oh my God, where is people coming from? Tommy Tope. So on no account should you increase risk when you are in a drawdown, right? So now you have to set your rules, your risk management rules. How many RR are you going to be doing? Like me personally, I don't have a specific RR, right? My students know me, I don't have a specific RR, right? But what I do, I have what we call a minimum RR. So I use 1:2 minimum, but I don't have a specific RR because I want to be flexible, right? For me, I don't have a specific RR, but I use 1:2 minimum. That means my minimum is okay. So my minimum is my minimum is 1:2, and so my minimum is 1:2. I don't really have a specific right? So it depends on what the market is giving me. The market is giving me 1:5, I'll take it. If it wants to 10, I'll take it. Whenever the market gives, I'll take it. So I don't really like to put a cap on my IR, right? So I don't really put a cap. So you just set your rules for you. If maybe you prefer a static, like Buddha have a static 1:3, right? It just depends on you have to set your rules. Like I said, what works for person A will not work for person B. So you have to put your own rules. Like if your own is 1:3 IR, like static, that is fine. If you like to take partials, just make sure you set the rules that work for you, right? Whatever works for you, right? Because the way I trade is not the way you trade, right? I'm always trading lower time frames. So you might trading higher time frames, and 1:3 is okay for you. So it just depends on you how you want to take your trades, right? But for me personally, I use 1:2 minimum. If I want to 4, I'll take it. If I want to 5, I'll take it. If I want to 6, I'll take it. Whatever the market gives, I'll take it. Or I can take partials and then hold it. But my rule is it must be at least double of what I'm risking, right? That's how I trade. So I don't really have a specific. At times I take a trade as like 1:5. I've even done 1:8 sometimes. Like I do 1:8. Like on US 30, I do 1:8 on US 30. That was like 2 weeks back. So I don't really have a specific for when I'm trading. I don't have a specific one, right? So I'm always based on what the market present. If I see that there's opportunity for 1:5, I will take it or take fast shots along the way, right? So it just depends on you. So set your rules. Are you going to be using a static IR? Are you going to be using a take partials and then hold? Are you going to be changing it like one is my arrow changes not specific, right? Just 1:2 and above, right? Anything above 1:2 is okay for me, but it must not be below that, right? So that is it. So for me personally, when I am in Jordan, if I used to risk 1%, I usually drop to 0.5. And typically I don't go below 0.4. Right? Like when I don't go below 0.4. Like very rare I risk below 0.4%. Very, very rare. Right? Unless maybe I didn't calculate the risk score, but I don't go below 0.4, or yeah, I don't go below that. So maybe 0.5 if I'm in Jordan, if I'm maybe in profit, I can go to maybe to 0.7 or 1%. It just depends. So most times when I'm in a loss, I usually go to 0.5. I just use it. So if it's on a proper account, I just go 0.5 if it's on a proper accounts, right? So that is basically, so you just have to determine the rules that you are going to be using for it. And then another thing that can also help with data is that you should have numerous accounts, right? It also helps when you're recovering. You have numerous accounts, right? So it helps to recover another. So it's not when you're like me now. If I want to buy an account now, instead of buying maybe 30K account, I would like kind of split it into two. So even if one is in loss, the other one will not be in loss. So you can have maybe several accounts. And when you have several accounts, you shouldn't be taking the same trades on all your accounts, right? It also helps to draw down too. It helps to draw down. So if you have maybe 2 or 3 accounts, you shouldn't be taking the same trades on all accounts, because if you take all trades on one account, if you take one trade on all accounts, it simply means that if you take a loss here, you're taking a loss on account 2, then it does on account 3, and it's not really good for your business, for your accounts. If you're taking the same things on one your accounts, so you can have maybe 2 accounts, 3 accounts. For this thing can help you make you to think of just say several accounts maybe. Let's say multiple anything from 2, so you can have multiple accounts. So if you just kind of split your account so that you can all the accounts will be in loss at once, and can make it to be flexible. Right. So that's one of the things I do. I have like 2, 3 accounts, right? So I'm not doing all accounts at once. So it helps me to manage it, so that even if this one, if maybe I'm not able to handle the loss on this account, I can simply switch to the one that's in profits. Right. So that's how I kind of do, so that I don't get frustrated when my account is not going. Right. So that one, it's not compulsory to have multiple accounts, but it really helps when you're seeing that one account is not in drawdown and the other one is in drawdown. So it kind of helps. So at least even if you maybe want to withdraw now, the account that's in profit, you can wait for that one while recovering the one in loss. You understand? So maybe if you maybe have 2 or 3 400 accounts, one can be in loss and the other one is in profit, and then now we withdraw from one in profit. You understand? So it kind of makes you flexible. So even if you want to withdraw, you can still see one account to withdraw from. Right. So if you use proper accounts, it's very, very nice that you use multiple accounts, right? So that if this one is in loss, this one is in profit, your goal is to make withdrawals, right? So this one gives you a withdrawal, it covers the other one. So even if you lose your account, you still have one that is paying you, right? It's just like diversifying your investment really, really help when you are having multiple accounts, right? So I think we're about to wrap up this call. in the next 10 minutes because I don't want to exceed this. So those are the things I really believe that really helps with drawdown, right? So the thing about drawdown, yeah, another thing that also helps is that when you're managing drawdown, then you want to be, you want to be selective about your trades, right? You want to be selective trading, right? So very, very important. So if you have an account that's in drawdown, you won't be taking any kind of trades. Just a very selective the trades that you take there. While although I preach probability, when I mean selective trading, I mean that there are trades in which they align fully with your strategy, right? Like instance now, I know trades that maybe have like 5 confluences. There are trades that have maybe just 2 confluences. There are trades that have like 8 confluences. Depends on your checklist. Right. So you want to take in those trades that have more, more confirmation to your trading plan, right? Like I always tell my students, there is no correct or wrong trade until it plays out. So you cannot know that this is a wrong trade until it plays out. So to be selective simply means that you have to just select the ones that have more conformity to what you trade. If maybe use breakouts and retests, right? You have to focus on one that is more aligned with what you trade. More if it's double top or maybe head and shoulder. Focus on one that is very, very clear. And one that is like has more high, like it has a higher chance of playing out, right? So you have to be very selective about your trades. So that's also what I do. If I have an account in loss, I'm not taking all trades on that account. So I only focus on the ones that are very, very high probability. And sometimes I even choose the pairs. Like I know that most times I have a higher win rate with EU. So I kind of say, okay, this account I'm using only EU and G on this trade on that account. So that's what I do sometimes. I know the pairs that I am more, I am more versed with. Right? I have my, one of my greatest strengths is EU and G. That's why I find one of my greatest strengths. Right? I really excel more in EU and GU. So if I'm in Jordan, I'm kind of focusing on those pairs where I excel more, so that I will, I won't be taking more losses. Right? Something like GJ, I would likely not take GJ. Things like maybe things like probably all those pairs that I don't really get that that high win rate with. I don't really focus on them. So I just focus on ones I understand best. So you have to be very selective. I have to be selective with the pairs. Focus on the pairs that you make more profit with. Right? All these profit have dashboards. So let's go to your dashboard. Which pair do you make more profit with? Which one is more like you do you understand better? Like it's very, very obvious. If you look at your dashboard, there's always a pair that you make more profit with. Those are the pair you make more wins with. So you want to focus on those particular pairs with your accounting that's in Jordan, right? So that's one of the ways you have to be very selective with your accounts, and then they allow risk management to do the damage, right? So after you've done all this, the last thing you have to do is just allow risk management do the rest. So this is the final part. So when you have done all this, allow your risk manager to do the rest, because even though you are doing all these things, you are being responsible, you're using rules, you're still going to take some losses, right? So allow your risk manager to do the rest. So risk manager simply means that there are times in which sometimes in a day, there are times in which in a day when I am recovering drawdown, sometimes in a day I can take like maybe 5 trades. I will lose like 3, I win 2, and that 2 I will win with like the profit margin will be like so different. Like sometimes I used to do this. Sometimes like I can take maybe 5 trades and my loss was like, let's say I lost like maybe $60 like I lost this, and then I'm not making like 300 with just 2 trades, sometimes even 1 trade. So that's why I said allow risk management do the rest. Right. So this is where risk management comes into play. So you have to make sure that you're using good risk management. Sometimes I'll take that to lose $50 and then just 2 trades, just 2 wins, I've made 300. So and if you do the subtraction, so that I am at the end of the way, at the end of the day profitable. So yeah, when you have done this, allow your risk management to do the rest. Right? Allow your risk management to do the rest. Right? Allow to do the rest. So these are the things I believe. So if you're just joining us, when I will drop the recording, do have to watch the previous teaching in part 1. I'll post them separately on YouTube. So I don't want it to be too long. So I'll post the recording separately on YouTube after now. I'll post it on YouTube. So you have to watch the first part and then watch this part. It's just a recording. So you guys can have access to this call over and over again, right? So that is it. So let me just say something in the next 5 minutes so that we can call it a day. So this is the time I want to say. So now how do we cope now in this economy? This economy is really, really getting haywire, right? Now, in my opinion, considering the dollar rates now, right, the best approach, I think that this is my own opinion now, my opinion, right? Disclaimer, my opinion, not verified or financial advice, right? It's not so. My opinion is that at this time, considering the economy in Nigeria, right? If you're in Nigeria, you understand. I don't really think that it's wise to be depositing in a USD account, right? I don't really think it's wise to be depositing in a USD account because the rate is very, very crazy, right? So now, just one loss, now you're losing. So I feel that the best thing to do now is to trade with a Naira account, or even if you don't put all your deposits in your Naira account, I think that we should have Naira accounts, right? It's Naira trading accounts. And SNET gives it, right? SNET gives Naira accounts. So now when you're having your Naira account, do you know that if you're in the US, do you know that it's only Nigeria that we are always focusing on rates? If you live in the US, your goal is just to make profit. Though. Not if you're in US now, your goal is to make profit. Rate doesn't concern you because dollar is dollar. You understand? So the reason why it's as if things are different in Nigeria is because we are using another country's rates, right? Imagine when you're trading with your own country's rates. You're not trading with that fear because most times that rate kind of gives a kind of fear. Oh God, I have lost this amount. When you convert and you're like, oh my God, I've lost this amount. So one of the things that can really give peace of mind in this economy is to trade with an account that is what in your local currency. And when you're trading account in local currency, your goal is now what to just make profits. Your goal is not your goal shifts from those rate and all those nonsense to those to making profit. That's what you're just focused on making profits. Right? It's not whether rate has increased or rate has dropped. Blah blah blah. So your goal is just what profits. That's also your goal in this account. Just make profit. That's all. Make profits. You don't focus on whether the rate is increasing, whether rate is dropping. All those things really makes it. So I think that if you're undercapitalized now, right, you just go for Naira accounts. Because if you go with the dollar account, number one, your balance won't give you enough leverage, and you'll be very, very tense. All those things that happen when the rate is going up. You're concerned about. That is just many things are happening, and anything can happen. The rate can even drop anytime. The rate can drop. Anything can happen. That was another about this word. I was reading a book by um Morgan Housel. He said that things get better unexpectedly. You won't even know that things are getting better. Economy might drop. You won't even know. And you're there, things like to go higher. So I feel that if you're trading your private account, always have another account. It must not be all. I think you guys should just have another account, just for at least just your private trading, and then if you want to use profit, and then you cannot use your profit maybe to make your big profit in USD. Then imagine you make your profit in USD, right? And then you now withdraw to another account. So it kind of bridges the gap, right? So you don't have to using your own money to deposit in USD because the conversion is very, very high now. So that's just my opinion. So even if you want to be trading private capital, just have another account. Put like 20K, put 30K. It kind of gives you that experience of trading life money, right? There are no rules, no profit targets, no daily drawdown. Just your private accounts, right? Just read your private accounts with your local currency. The rate are not affecting you. Your goal is just to make profits. How does they go? Make profits. Rate does not concern you. There is no drawdown rule, no rule from here, no profit targets, no MT5 revoke license, blah blah blah. All those things that are really bothering goals. Like all these things can cause you to be unprofitable. All these things are happening. Meta quote has removed license, funding people has gone out of business. All those things can really, really distract you. So if you have some money, I encourage that you just open another account. Just open another account and just be making your profit, right? So if you have your skill set, that shouldn't be a problem, right? So think like the guys in the US guys are not thinking about rates, they're thinking about profits. Why us Nigerians always focus on rates, rate this, rate that, rate this, rate that. We're not even focused on making profit, let's focus on rates. When the naira goes up, now my dollar will increase. That is good, but focus on being profitable, right? So that's just one thing I just want to wrap up. So I encourage you guys. I've posted the SNS link in my Telegram community. Just use the link, create your Naira account, right? Deposit something there, right? And start trading. You see that it's actually help your psychology a lot when you're trading with your local currency, right? It really, really help your psychology a lot when you're trading. So I'll just forward I'm forwarding the link now to the group so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So it's really help you guys to So that's it. So imagine when you're risking 1,000 naira, you're risking 500 naira. So it really help you a lot. Right, so I think that's what I'm wrapping up. That is it about managing drawdown. It's managing drawdown is more of a psychological game. If you can play the game right in your mindset, you will find the results. In fact, if I tell you that um this week that I had that I was able to come out of drawdown, I didn't even do anything special. Like my analysis was nothing special. There was no special analysis, nothing really special. There was nothing different I was doing. I didn't even do much. I was just focused on the psychological aspect. Okay, A plus trades. I'm focused on, um, you know, not over leveraging. I'm focused on risk management. I was focused on those psychological parts, and risk management did the rest. Right. So allow your risk management to do the rest. So that is it. So I think I'll end this call now. So if you guys have any questions, you can always reach out to me. Something that you really learned, you can always post it to me. If you learned something, if you got value, you can always post it on the YouTube page, tag me. This is what I learned from the call, blah blah blah, and all of this fun stuff, right? So I hope you get to see you guys. Have a wonderful trading week. If I have a time, I'll kind of record my analysis and post on YouTube as well. But now I don't think I'll be able to do that this night. So maybe probably tomorrow or on Tuesday. I'll post my analysis for the week. I like posting on Tuesday because I've seen the Monday markets and I know what to expect. So I like to post on Tuesdays so I can be able to go through Monday action, know what to expect. Right. So I wish you guys the best. Trade profitably. Make sure that you apply risk management and then take responsibility for your success. Right. You owe yourself that. Right. So cheers and God bless.